Now, the fraud and corruption case against former ANC Member of Parliament Vincent Smith has been postponed to December this year. He appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court sitting in Palm Ridge Magistrate's Court this morning. It was his second appearance then at the court. Now, Smith's bail of around 30,000 rand has been extended. Magistrate Philip Venter told Smith that because the state had their offices closed, it wasn't easy to access relevant documentation for this case today. He ordered Smith not to violate his bail conditions. Meanwhile, former Busasa COO Angelo Agrizzi is currently applying for bail in the same court. The state is opposing the bail application. State Prosecutor Sandiswa Nkolanyoni says Agrizzi didn't declare a further 33 million rands worth of movable assets and therefore should not be given bail. Magistrate Philip Venter is yet to rule on the matter as the bail application continues. They've for now just taken a break. My colleague Samkele Maseko, who has been following this story for us and the court proceedings, joins me now. Samkele is certainly quite an interesting one, now asking indeed that he is a flight risk, and indeed Angelo Agrizzi in a difficult and a precarious situation here, and certainly may not get bail, but for now we're on a break.
Yes, indeed, Arabile. Riveting stuff coming out of this bail application of Angelo Agrizzi, particularly by Advocate Ronnie Rousseau, the state prosecutor, detailing some of the assets that Angelo Agrizzi has failed to declare in this bail application, saying there's about 33 million rands of assets that are offshore, in offshore accounts that Angelo Agrizzi has failed to declare in this bail application, saying that the state conducting its various investigations has found that there's also an Italian passport that Angelo Agrizzi has failed to declare. There's also about sums of money, about 11 million rands that were transferred by Angelo Agrizzi to offshore accounts. There was another payment of about 11.9 million rands that was transferred by Angelo Agrizzi to his wife's accounts, and that the wife then transferred those accounts to offshore accounts. The Asset Forfeiture Unit and the Investigative Directorate coming out and saying that they will be putting in measures in place to recoup those funds, because you can clearly connect the dots, in the words of Minister Pravin Gordhan, that these funds were coming from Angelo Agrizzi's family trust. There were amounts of monies and cars that were transferred from Angelo Agrizzi to his wife, and it seems as if Angelo Agrizzi has a number of accounts and offshore accounts that he has not declared in his bail application here, and that is giving him some tough time in the application for bail here at the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court. But what's also coming to the fore through his legal representative in an affidavit that was read out, they are casting aspersions that the late Gavin Watson may not be late after all. His lawyer saying that they even doubt that the former and late, allegedly late, former CEO of African Global Operations, formerly trading as Busasa, is actually late.
Yeah, so those allegations with regards to the passing then is actually quite an interesting one. Of course, it continues to even lay bare even at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. So hopefully we can get clarification with regards to that one. But in this instance, though, with regards to Angelo Agrizzi, I mean, his co-accused Vincent Smith has gotten 30,000 rand bail. Would it be a similar figure for Angelo Agrizzi? But considering this sort of, having not declared that 33 million rand worth of immovable property, does that mean that the figure could even be higher than that?
Well, I'm not a legal expert, but judging from the figures that are coming out of this particular affidavit that has been put into the court by the state prosecutor, Advocate Ronnie Rousseau, and the chunks of and millions of rands that are being branded about, the transfers from various accounts of the Angelo Agrizzi family trust, from Angelo Agrizzi's various bank accounts with ABSA, with Nedbank, with FNB, his wife's bank accounts, the 33 million rands of assets that are in an Italian and American offshore accounts, the Bitcoin wallets that are there. It does seem as if Angela Agrizzi's bail application may be a bit too hefty for you and I, Arabile, who just earn peanuts. You can see the millions of rands that are being branded about that Angela Agrizzi was seemingly playing monopoly with and transferring from one account to another and transferring from offshore and to offshore accounts, which you and I can only dream of. But it also brings about the question here, Arabile, is that Bosasa, now trading as African Global Operations, had access to millions and millions of contracts. Their bosses, Gavin Watson, Angelo Agrizzi, were playing with this pool of millions of rands, but they were giving South African politicians chicken portions, Louis Vuitton and Gucci bags, security upgrades. Question is, were they that cheap?
Yeah, certainly is the big question on that front. Samkele, look, all I can say is leave my peanuts alone, all right? Don't let them be touched by anybody. Thank you so much for the time there. My colleague Samkele Maseko out at the Palm Ridge Magistrate's Court there, following that court case for us. Then Angelo Agrizzi still applying for bail then in that court at present. But it has emerged that he has 33 million rand worth of assets that he has not declared. And the state now saying that he is a flight risk as well. So they're trying to counter that bail application. So we'll continue to follow it.